Welcome back, disc golf fans, to the 2023 Dynamic Discs Open here in Emporia, Kansas, a Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series event. Happy to be out here at Emporia Country Club in June, excuse me. Still later than normal. I'm Nathan Queen and joined by Nick Hanson.
How we doing today, disc golfers? Another gorgeous day here in Kansas that we've been blessed with. Lower on the winds, and taking a look at our card here today: Ezra Robinson, Joel Freeman, Gannon Buhr, and Albert Tamm. What a leaderboard we had yesterday, Nathan.
And just a reminder, as all of our group is tied for second, this is Chase Card. We are Chase Card here, entirely tied for second. And like you said, what a leaderboard. It's so tight.
So tight up there. Looking at Ezra Robinson, our first player here, we know he's putting the PA1s. We'll see the M1 out of him. And most of all, we're going to see those D1s today, flying long and far here.
And Joel Freeman putting with the Nexus Zero. Going to see some Chariot possibly in the mid-ranges. Most likely with the wind, Thunderbird, Firebird, and Destroyers. Possibly some Juggernaut if we get some big headwind.
All right, Gannon Buhr up next here on our card, putting the PA3, the M4 for the mid-ranges, some of those FX discs I know he likes to throw, the D1 and the X1 for that overstable mold that we all know he loves.
And Albert Tamm putting with the BT Hard Shield. Might see some Trust or Justices out here, but mainly going to see some Ballista Pros, I believe, maybe some Pioneers, and a Stiletto if you need some overstability. Straight into hole 1, 1,224-foot par 5. OB tightened this year with on the left side, and then you've got the OB all the way down the right as well. You'd like your second shot to land somewhere in this area. That'll leave you less than 350 into this pretty tight green. You've got a little OB area just in front of the basket, and it slopes down just behind, so you got to be pretty distance precise.
Let's get a big round of applause going. From Lawrenceville, Georgia, it's Ezra Robinson.
The older of the Robinson brothers here.
Hasn't popped up quite as much as Isaac, but has a pretty similar game, I would say. Lots of power, great player in the woods, and showcases a nice spike hyzer right there to get into position.
They both have a very quick style of play.
From Loveland, Colorado, the 2022 Butler County Classic champion, Joel Freeman.
Yeah, that quick play could come from Nats in Georgia. I don't know that for certain, but good possibility.
That could be there.
Joel Freeman from Colorado. Shouldn't have to worry about the Nats too often up there. Also going with that big hyzer out to the right. Wind was a little bit different today. I say different because it changed throughout the day. It was a lot of different directions.
Iowa, a three-time winner on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Let's give it up for Gannon Buhr.
Yeah, and just really been on tour for a couple years, and as you heard already, three-time winner on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Young gun Gannon Buhr made a name for himself very quickly.
I'm sure he's excited to go home next week, but he's got a couple rounds here left. Putting one out there on the right side, but getting a good amount of distance. He's going to find himself in a good place to start.
And rounding out the box, from Tartu, Estonia, the 2022 Open at Tallahassee champion, Albert Tamm.
Haven't seen Albert up at the leaderboard as much as last year this year, but he's starting to come on strong here in the last couple of events.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a bit difficult. It seems like they've maybe traveled back and forth a little bit more this year. I'm sure that's different, a little more strenuous on the body. But great drive there. All 4 players going to be inbounds in the fairway. This catching a little bit of odd wind and drifting off to the left. It looks like it still did catch some overstability, and he's going to be in just a fine spot.
Ezra putting a good move on that one, and it's going to come up nice and close to that OB, but in a good position.
And lots of speed here. That's going to skip a little farther right than you'd like. Probably. It'll be interesting to see what he does from there. He's got a few different options, and they're not quite as clean as you'd like.
Yeah, that tree there that he's going to have to deal with can be quite annoying if you get too close. Gannon coming up a little bit shorter, but going to be in a good position still.
Yeah, I think he's still only about 330 or 340 right here. Pulling this out. Probably meant to swing this a bit farther to the right. And gonna end up pushing long as well.
Looks like he's going to be outside the circle back there. Joel here from a little closer, also going with that right side approach.
Yeah, a little straighter of a disc here. And has pushed it too straight. Ended up pushing a little long, but fights through that tree. Gonna have a nice circle 1 look. Putting back at it for a birdie. A little bit of a safer feeling putt there.
This is really just a speed control shot. You want to be hitting the ground somewhere outside of circle 1, so that way, just like Albert's shot here, you can come over and crest that hill and slide right into circle 1 without going down the hill.
It's scary though, because they placed that OB there just for you, just in case you didn't quite throw it fast enough. And that's going to leave him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I still don't think he quite made it far enough to get around those branches cleanly. Gonna have a bit of a blocked putt there.
Ooh, Gannon with the long putt early. Just a little low, unfortunately. Ezra also a little low there.
Oh no, and Joel, overcorrection from the other two, gonna hit just a bit high. Albert, last chance for a birdie on the card, and brings it in nicely. 26% of the field taking a birdie, but 28 bogey or above, so second day in a row. Opener starts out over par. But not for our card. We're gonna finish right at even.
All right, hole number 2, 745 feet par 4. You're going to see the OB flags here on the left with that one tree you need to miss. Players are going to be throwing the sidearm or a turnover for the most part. And then its approach here, the sidearm is the more friendly route. However, depending on how far you get right off your tee shot, you might have to approach from that right side.
This is, oh, I wonder, I heard, it sounded like one of them said it did cross up there. It looked pretty close, but nonetheless, that's not what you want. And I believe he was actually trying to hit that gap there.
Wow, that is an incredible gap hit if he was. Unfortunately, he's going to push all the way to that right side and be stuck behind that bush. He's going to have a tough up and down, maybe even for par from there. Gannon going with the big turnover. If it comes out, it's going to be great.
Just needs to, yeah.
Still not a bad shot, but I'm sure he wanted a little more distance on that.
Nice of that to not get a cut roll. Surprised. I know some of these players have some big forehands. I'm a little surprised to not see forehands around this tree. I feel like it's a much easier angle to control, and it's really not a huge distance that you need to get. As you see Gannon going with a forehand here, a pretty similar shot to the tee shot, so Gets up there nicely. Going to be right around circle's edge.
Yeah, I think personally I go with the backhand, just try and get a little more distance. However, if you're next to that tree, you still have, all these players have the distance to get up to the basket.
Yeah, definitely so. As you see, Ezra, unfortunately, just having a pitch out sideways, but plays it nicely and utilizes that little pitch out. Going to be able to get up and down for his par.
Thank you.
Great shot by Joel there. Going to be just outside the bullseye, it looks like, for his birdie. Albert here throwing 3.
Yeah, and they did give him a pretty good spot up there, so he's going to be, looks to be up and down for his par as well, as Gannon able to get his birdie, get under par for the round now. And birdie is really what you want to do on this hole. 38% of the field able to get that birdie today. Nice save from Albert after the OB drive. Joel looking to bounce back after a early bogey.
Good birdie there, though, for him. Great par there out of Ezra. He just had to have that one pitch out stroke because we move on to hole number 3. 466 feet, par 3, OB right and left side. The OB on the left is then going to curl around the basket. Players are going to need to throw a left to right moving shot to get to the green. We'll see probably some sidearms out of this group.
Which still confuses me as to why we didn't see him on the last hole. But kind of a head left to right wind today, which should be helpful in getting the disc to fade back to the right on this hole if you get enough height. Gannon hangs that one out a little bit too far left, but does stay in bounds. I think this one's going to be a little bit short, but gets a pretty violent skip for this hole.
That was aggressive all the way across the green. Very unfortunate for Joel Freeman.
I like this.
Albert doesn't get any skip out of that one. He's going to be left in circle 2.
That's the skip that I'm more used to seeing on this hole. I'm sure that's what kind of Joel was most likely expecting as well.
I don't think Ezra got enough turn on that one. It's going to need to slow down, and there it is. Checks up right before the OB. He's going to have himself a circle 2 look for birdie.
Yeah, it's not too bad over here. Pretty open. If you get past that tree, as long as you stay in bounds. The OB sidewalk shouldn't really come into play unless you really get into one. As Ezra tries to get his first birdie of the round there. Now Albert, about 37.
Joel here for par. Is able to save that par there from about circle's edge.
Yeah, nice par save. After a pretty wild skip. Doesn't have a par yet, although that's not the par that you'd like to take. That is what you kind of expect to get on this hole. I'm sure people want to take the birdie, but 60% of the field carding that par, so pretty common score.
Trilogy challenge is back, y'all. You get 3 discs.
The Retro Orbit Pure.
Tournament Ice Orbit Warship.
Fusion Ice Orbit Vandal. Are you ready to hit the course with these 3 discs?
And go check out thrilledchallenge.com.
right, hole 4, 433-foot par 3. That is more the flight of the disc if you go up and around and over the green through this straight line that the drone flew. It's about 400 feet, I believe. That golf green is OB over there. Then you have there's a fence over on the right that's OB as well. And although this is a very understable disc, that is still left out a little bit wide there from Gannon.
Yeah, he's going to find himself outside circle 2. Downhill putt, but not at the ideal landing spot. See if Joel can correct. Looks like he tried to correct a little too much. He's going to catch that single tree in the middle of the fairway. Drop him down about 280 or so from the basket.
Here we go. Here's what I thought we would have seen from the other two also.
Yeah, especially after they did it on the last hole.
Oh,
Albert going deep with that.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
too much power. He's going to be in circle 2 in the woods back there. I personally would love to take this line as a righty backhand. One of my favorite shot shapes right there. Ezra leaves that one just a little bit low.
Joel's sticking one close there. Should have an easy tap in for par. Ooh, and Ezra giving it a bit off the top of the basket from the edge of circle 2.
Yeah, he's been all over some middle so far this round. Hopefully he'll dial it in and ring up some chains.
Oh. He has a hard time believing he missed that one.
I feel you, Gannon. They look good the whole way. And Albert, just too good of a forehand, ends up a bit of a precarious spot. Oh boy. That just never looked comfortable from the start on that.
No, it almost looked a little rushed even. He's got about the same distance putt here as the last one.
Oh, and he's gonna go from, oh man, long birdie putt to double bogey.
Gannon taps in his par.
Yeah, highway noise can get to you. We are right by the highway right here. Nerves also, like I said, we haven't seen Ezra on camera a whole lot.
You know, that's an unfortunate start there. A couple early ones that he hopes he would have had, but moving on to hole 5. 675 feet, par 4. There's going to be OB on the right and left side. You're going to see the cart path on the right, fairway on the left. Players are going to land about in here and then have a tough low ceiling. Depending if you're on the right or left side, you could go wide hyzer into a pretty small green from right to left. See if one of them can stick it for birdie.
A nice move here from Gannon. He's going to end up in that kind of in-between zone, I believe, though. Leave him with a decision of a funny angle right or a funny angle left.
Yeah, like you were saying yesterday, if you push the OB either right or left side, as we see Joel's doing, it's going to give you a much easier approach to the basket. And that one is cooked. It is way up there.
Yeah, very nice shot from Joel. Should leave him disc of his choice, really, whatever he feels comfortable with. But mid-range, possibly even putter, has enough to get there. But might see fairway just to control some skip. This really needs to catch some fade here for Albert, and does just in time. Gonna be out wide. Should have a wide open spike hyzer into this green. Settle down now.
I was gonna say that looks a little cut off. Ooh, and he's gonna get that catch.
Perfect position now. Oh
in a-
man, that was scary for him the entire flight, I'm sure. But as soon as that grabbed, it became perfect. And Gannon tried to go up the middle a little bit there, and that low ceiling jumping out and grabbing him.
Yeah, that's an extremely tough shot. Low ceiling, uphill. Not your ideal landing zone. Albert getting a good second shot there. He's going to have himself an inside the circle look for birdie.
Oh yeah, that's how you would draw it up. Close to that OB line. Ideally, you would have a forehand for that shot, but Ezra very backhand dominant, as I can understand.
Interesting that Joel chose to come back across the fairway instead of going over the OB like we've seen so many times from so many other players this week.
Yeah, well, I guess when you're far enough up there, that low ceiling isn't quite as much of a challenge. And you don't really mind not getting a skip. So that could have played into that. Albert able to convert. Nice birdie putt.
Gannon's going to save his par.
All right, and we got Ezra on the birdies now. Joel as well. So 3 birdies, 1 par. Moves us into hole 6, 339-foot par 3. We see some mid-rangers or fairway drivers to push straight pretty far and then get a nice late fade or skip over to the left side. Just your distance control shot here. All the space in the world out here on the right.
I would say this is the first hole in the course that most of these players are considering a must-get birdie. Maybe not for a lefty.
Yeah, I don't think this one's quite a must-get for me. But I do feel like I need to get not necessarily a specific hole, but 2 of the first 5.
Yeah.
That's kind of the... So, I don't know which holes they are, per se, but you kind of got to get them.
Got to get the wheels turning early. This course is just so attackable and so scoreable if you're throwing good shots and putting well.
Just describe how to play good there. You know, throw good shots, putt well.
But it's not like over-the-top shots. You can throw plenty of routine shots here and still find yourself in scoring position.
I do. I like what Emporia Country Club has turned into as far as the tour course that it is today. Very attackable, but lots of danger. Still not allowing tons of, you know, those 14, 15, 16 down rounds that you see. That's still not happening out here, but it is very scoreable. As Albert Tamm picks up a nice circle's edge putt there. Ezra Robinson going back-to-back after that double bogey, canceling that out pretty quickly. That's a good way to get back on track, although you do never want it to happen.
Good bounce back. We love to see it.
Yeah, 3rd easiest hole on the course today. 61% of the field carding a birdie. Could be a reason why we're going to get that first diamond.
We're on our way early. And here we are at hole 7, 678 feet, par 4. We're flying over a little bit of OB here now, but OB right and left side. If you can get all the way to the bottom of the valley, you're going to have your best approach up to the basket. But really just a tricky tee shot here with that low-hanging branch right off the tee.
Yeah, gotta carry that sidewalk that you see in front of you, or you go to a drop zone that is possible to save the par, but not probable. Joel Freeman carrying all the way down that valley you were talking about. got over to the left side, so he could throw a forehand from there, or I think he still does have room for a backhand approach as well. This needs to not get a huge skip.
Ooh.
And is able to sit down. He will most likely go with that forehand play, as he's too far back really for a good backhand play up the right side.
And this one's ripped. Oh, and what a shot from Ezra.
Standstill putter now.
He has that ability. Gannon up here now.
And it's got to be a little harder for Gannon on this tee shot.
I think he just went over the branch.
He did go over the branch, but, you know, he's got a few inches on everybody else, so maybe that's his play. He should check that disc for sap, though, before he picks it up. That branch is very sappy. Make sure you don't touch it.
I got a couple sap discs from the week, and it's been frustrating getting sap off them after it. He's going to leave that one short, unfortunately. Outside putt for birdie. Albert up next.
Yeah, hang this out wide, pretty high. Gonna need it to get through some branches. And it does. He spikes inside the circle. Gonna have a nice look for birdie. Joel does have room for a backhand. Looks to be pretty kind of overstable putter shot there. Gonna be inside circle one.
Yeah. Ezra with that light putter, little turnover, finding himself what looks like inside the bullseye.
Beauty.
Gannon from circle two. Oh, and another circle two putt just hitting the rim.
Yeah, and you could tell halfway there it wasn't doing what he expected it to do. He threw his hands up, knew what was going on, as Joel Freeman gobble gobble.
Slowly but surely working his way under. Had a little rough start there, but he's back.
Albert Tamm gobble gobble. Got a couple turkeys on the card now. Albert moving himself to 4 under par.
Yeah, we had a...
Ezra Robinson gobble gobble.
Could say we had a little bit of rough start, but we're getting some green on those scorecards now.
Yeah, triple turkeys moving into hole 8. 994-foot par 5. Get around this tree is the main goal. The more distance you get, the easier the second shot's going to be, but around that tree is just fine. From there, you can still reach this point. Ideally, you'd like to get just around this tree where you have 200, 220 feet left into this pin. If you can keep it in the middle, it's fairly straightforward hole. Should be fairly easy, but those OB lines creep in very quickly.
And this shot to me is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, what a rip. That's so far.
That's so confident in your ability to control that angle.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad we get to see this on a replay, because that's such a high level shot. It's so easy to turn that over too much and just not let it come back, not turn it over enough, and end up OB right. And he landed dead center fairway.
So good, Joel.
He may have an opportunity, if he wants to go big and go for the eagle from there.
I mean, he could throw a similar shot there and be... Ooh, that one's going to be close.
Saved by the tall grass.
I think
it looks
so.
like it kind of bounced back off there. Not a luxury that we have a lot of the time, but fortunate right there.
Oh, this one's smashed.
Speaking of trust. Oh, no.
Catching that tree and staying out of bounds. He will progress quite a ways up the fairway, but that's unfortunate. That was going to be on the hillside.
Yeah, looks like he just got on that way too much, as Gannon doesn't want much to do with all these big distance shots. He's just going to throw a big, huge spike hyzer. Man, that still went pretty far, actually.
Yeah, it did. Flirting with that OB more than he wanted to, I bet, though, throwing that shot.
Wow. This This gets quick off to the right. Yeah,
Sure
he is going to
does.
find that OB right. He will get all of that distance, and it is an attainable par from there.
That's a sidearm where you really need to hang out as close to, if not over the water a little bit before it starts hyzering back.
And Ezra showing you how quickly that OB on each side can creep in. He's gone right, left now. Going to be throwing 5, trying to get up and down for his bogey.
Yeah, strokes can quickly add up on some of these holes here at the country club.
Yeah, but Gannon just showing you how easy it can be also. Didn't try too hard on either shot. Joel, that first shot was incredible, but it didn't look like he tried too hard. And second shot here, that is huge. He's up there
He's got to be
60, 70 footer.
I was going to say.
Or 70, 80.
He's probably going to be giving that a bid for eagle, knowing Joel. There's a good approach from Ezra. Unfortunately, with double OB, he's going to be looking at taking a bogey.
Oh, no.
Albert also going double OB on this hole.
Wow, unforced error there for sure.
Yeah, that's not one. That's not one you can make here on this moving day. Wow, Gannon getting caught up early as well.
Meanwhile, Joel Freeman for the eagle putt. Comes up just a bit short. But should be sitting right there for 4 birdies in a row.
Here we have Gannon from just outside the circle. Ooh, a little high, but that's going to stick for him.
Yeah, the rare band putt.
Yeah, band and drop in.
You
Let's
do
get a
see
second
them.
look at this.
Oh, yeah. Just low enough for it to kind of slide down off of that band rather than bounce off. Gives it a nice little tap there. Thank you. May I have another? Ezra kind of continuing his roller coaster of a round so far.
Albert in for double bogey.
Yeah, first blemish. A pretty big one there. Gonna put him back just a 2 under par now. Joel Freeman, 4 birdies in a row. Takes the lead on the card, moving into hole 9. 719-foot par 4. You got to make it over this wall we're at right now to be inbounds and not go to the drop zone. Ideally, you'd like to get all the way up to that corner so you can almost see this green, which they've cleaned up very nicely this year. It's made it quite approachable from your second shot. Really have to get aggressive off of this tee. There's OB all the way down the left side that you kind of need to push like Joel's doing right now to get to a good spot. Oh, and he's caught the sidewalk.
Wow.
Incredible tee shot. May be able to see the basket.
He's going to be loving that one. And, you know, that's really the line, is if you can push that sidewalk and then just stay inside of it so you can then scamper up the hill a little bit. Gannon also in a good spot, probably 75 feet short of Joel, though.
Yeah, a little more reserved on that tee shot, and that might take sidearm out of play for this second shot where he has to throw a flex backhand.
So we see this one barely scooting out of bounds there.
Will get all of that distance, though. Doesn't have to go to the drop zone.
Yeah, if you're on that other side there, the drop zone is optional, and most players are all going to elect to throw from where they went out.
Oh, and this should be a great shot from Albert. Oh, my goodness.
Man, pushing the OB up there?
That's too much.
That is absurd.
Incredible shot.
Incredible.
I don't know how far that actually is, but it's got to be 415, maybe more. Through that tight gap, that's incredible.
Ooh, and Gannon put one to circle's edge.
Yeah, did have to go with that backhand, showing you what just that 60, 70 feet really does. As you could hear from Joel there, he didn't quite get the push that he needed on that one. Does stay on the edge of the woods, so still going to have a birdie look.
Yeah, as we see, Albert's up here almost even with the basket. You're not going to see this very often, even from the number of Pro 2 players that are here. And
oh, and he's left it
early.
Just a bit high on the approach, which this whole thing was all evergreen and just bushes last year, so kudos to the team for making this an accessible green. I believe this is one of the better par 4s on the course right now as far as risk reward. Albert, unfortunately, unable to capitalize on his risky play there.
Gannon able to grab a birdie there.
Yeah, second hardest hole on the course today.
No surprise there. How many birdies do we have?
21.
Okay.
Pretty good amount. However, 26 players took a bogey. 4 players took a double bogey. We had a triple or 2 in there as well.
Oof.
So big numbers showing you why this is the second hardest hole on the course.
Good stroke separation on this hole, though.
Yeah, definitely. Difficult to get that birdie. You can't do it with a mediocre tee shot. Has to be good tee shot.
As we see Joel just sliding his putter into the basket for his par. And there's our front 9.
Yeah, Gannon Buhr, only player able to keep it clean, but Joel Freeman keeps up nonetheless. Ezra Robinson, a bit of a roller coaster going on. He's going to look to settle in. As you see the rest of the leaderboard here, Calvin Heimberg still out in the lead, but other players lurking. And that will wrap it up for the front 9 coverage of round 2 out here at the Dynamic Discs Open. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe to Gatekeeper's coverage. For Nick Hanson, I'm Nathan Queen, and we will see you guys out there.